Hello, I'm Mike Moran, and thank you for attending today's session of the Technology for Leaders briefing. Today, we're going to talk about cyber insurance renewals. Why did your cyber insurance renewal just get harder to do? As we roll into this, I want to talk to you about this. As a leader in your organization, you just must know one thing. You got to know what's going on. And you got to know what's going on across the board. And that's harder and that's more frustrating. And that's the reason why we're doing these, is to help you better understand technology. If you think about it, inspect what you expect, trust but verify. I'm going to try and help you with some of those things so that you're better prepared to ask the right questions and minimize your organization's risk. So, cyber insurance, what's the purpose? Little history. What are you committing to as an executive who has to sign the papers? How do you get it done? So, in all honesty, cyber insurance is an insurance policy that helps protect from the fallout of cyber attacks or hacking threats. Having cyber insurance can potentially help cover the cost of some elements of dealing with the attack and recovering from it. Little background. Years ago, there was no such thing as cyber liability insurance. It was all focused as a part of your property and casualty coverage to address disaster recovery activities. 5-6 years ago, that liability insurance started because ransomware and malware attacks started, viruses. It was usually a couple-page activity, and they wanted to know, the provider wanted to know how many workstations you have, how many servers you have, what kind of data you have. Today, they want to know a whole bunch more about your IT operations. Why? Well, in 2020, providers paid out more in claims than they took in premiums. It keeps growing every year. The cost to recover keeps growing every year. So there needs to be more protections for this. Some look at this as a penalty. The reality is in my opinion, the insurance providers asking you to do more, it's a benefit for you as well as an organization. So obviously it's fairly simple. You apply, you pay your premium. If it's accepted, you have a policy. You renew it every year. If you have an issue, you make a claim, and then they process it and potentially pay it. Pretty simple, but let's get to the details. So when you think about this, and we help a lot of our clients go through this, we help them every year fill out their cyber insurance applications and attest that things are getting done properly for them so that they can sign off on the documents. What are you trying to protect? Are you trying to protect your productivity? Are you trying to protect your data? Do you have intellectual property? Do you have other things that you're trying to protect as an organization? What are they? What are they? What are you trying to protect? What does it cost your organization to be down a day, a week? Do you have regulatory issues to address? This is kind of a rhetorical question because the state of Ohio has a data protection law. And if you have employees or 1099 folks working for you, you have regulatory issues. What do you need to do for coverage? How much coverage do you really need? How formal are your IT operations? Are they verifying things like your patch status, your antivirus status? Have they gone in and verified that your backup is going to work when you need it? Do you have certain things that they're asking for? Is your firewall less than 5 years old? Is it up to date on its subscriptions? Those are all questions that they're starting to ask. Do you know where you are? The applications. Obviously, I said they're starting to get more complicated than just the two-page documents that they used to have. This is an example of one that I'm looking at here on the screen right now. And if you notice, they're starting to ask for all kinds of, where is this application? Do you have certain features with it? Are you doing certain operational steps? Much more detailed than it used to be. And then when they're ready to provide the policy, they're asking you for a formal attestation that there are certain things that you're actually doing. In this case, this is for multi-factor authentication. And if you read the fine print down there underneath the signature, it's not on this example, but it's actually there. It actually says that if you're saying this and you're not really doing it, you're committing financial fraud. That's a whole different kind of crime. We're helping a lot of our clients right now get multi-factor authentication implemented. They didn't have to have it before, so they didn't do it. They're doing it today because, number one, it is the right thing to do. It's been suggested. But more importantly, they need to know that they're covered by their cyber insurance. And multi-factor authentication is more than just turning on Google Authenticator or Microsoft Authentication. There's a whole lot of things that need to be protected and processed. Why is it important? Well, if you think about this, what's it really cost for a cyber incident? If you've got 100 devices, 100 workstations, and 20 servers, which is about the average size of our customer base, it takes 2 to 3 hours to reinstall every one of those workstations and servers. You're looking at about $70,000 to $95,000 worth of cost. If we've got to bring in a forensic review, you're going to pay more for that as well. And when the average downtime as a result of these incidents is more than 2 days, a third of people report that it's 3 or more days. And 55% of folks report that they had repeat incidents. That's pretty expensive alone. Then figure in your average staff cost for a couple of days, lost work time, contractual reputation. And you can see that having that insurance is fairly important. Following it and being compliant not only reduces the risk of having an event, but if you have one, has an opportunity to help provide you with the coverage for those expenses that you were not expecting. So to summarize for this, if you understand your risks and needs, it's important. What do you need? What do you want? What do you got to protect? Understand your current IT operations environment. It doesn't mean you have to get in there and do it. How are you getting them to verify the things that need to be done are being done? Be prepared to have to do more to get your policy renewed. Know it's going to be more expensive. Follow your commitments and be prepared to prove that you're in compliance with your commitments if you happen to have an event. Now, if you'd like to talk more about this, please give me a call. I'll be happy to spend some time with you. I think it's important, and we're here to help. Thank you very much, and I hope that you're having a great day.